And thus ends another episode of NXT. What is going on, everybody? It's France, and we're here again for our NXT review for December 12, 2018, as we had a hell of a main event and some build towards next week's show, as well as a talk of what's going to be happening in NXT TakeOver Phoenix, as we will have Tommaso Ciampa take on Aleister Black, with Aleister Black's rematch happening at TakeOver. But before TakeOver in Phoenix next month, Aleister Black has some unfinished business with, or Johnny Gargano has unfinished business with Aleister Black. So that match will be happening next week, which I honestly think is too early for, because this is only the second week. And one of the biggest things when we always talk about the week-to-week shows of a set of tapings is that the fans are highly lively. They're lively and everything for the first set, and they slowly die down to where when they get to the fourth, maybe fifth week, if that's how far they go, the crowd is dead. They're not as lively unless it's something huge, like a big debut or something, or a big match, like when we had Johnny Gargano get his championship opportunity against Andrade Cien Almas in that Fatal 4-Way last year on the final set of those tapings. Something like that, yes, will get us a lively crowd, but for some reason this was the second set of tapings, and it makes it seem like they took whatever they taped in week part 3 and 4 and put it in this week, because until we got to the main event of this show, the crowd for some reason just seemed like they were dead majority of the night. You started with the Undisputed Era, was EC3 took on Bobby Fish. You had Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Mighty, which the crowd was completely dead for. I mean, there was some guys and gals in the crowd during that match trying to, get the crowd hyped up, but it seemed like nobody cared about that match. We had Mia Yim versus Vanna Gonzalez. Winner goes to the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contendership to Shayna Baszler's championship. As we already know, Bianca Belair is the first participant in that match, as she won a qualifying match on a house show. We also found out tonight that Lacey Evans had the same exact luck, as she won a match on a house show against, I believe it was Xia Li. That's right, Xia Li. And she is into that. So tonight we would find out who the third participant is, and I have a feeling we'll find out who's participant number 4 next week, as we have 2 weeks until that match. And then, of course, we had the Ricochet, not U.S., but North American Championship Open Challenge with a mystery opponent that I honestly don't know unless you read spoilers, which I'm sure most people did, because some people just can't wait to find out what happens. Unless you read spoilers, I'm pretty sure anybody who didn't read spoilers was probably typed for this guy, and that guy would be Tyler Breeze. WWE's main roster has no idea how to book this guy properly. They stuck him in a comedy tag team with Fandango called Breezango. The Fashion Police, they did that whole Fashion Files thing on SmackDown Live last year, which was maybe funny for a week, and then it was the same tired shtick over and over and wasn't funny anymore. So it was great to see Tyler Breeze come back. It was not the WWE main roster Tyler Breeze. He had the old tassels on his things. He had Prince Pretty on his attire. He had everything. He had stuff that he would have worn in NXT. He yelled at the ref for don't touch him. He was in NXT form. And I wish this Tyler Breeze could be used on the main roster, because him and Ricochet put on, I wouldn't say the best match we've seen on NXT. Nothing's going to beat Pete Dunne versus Ricochet with that shitty finish for main NXT TV. But it was definitely a very good main event. And it was a reminder to anybody who doubts Tyler Breeze or has forgotten how good Tyler Breeze can be if used properly, and the fact that this guy should be going for the Intercontinental title or the United States Championship. I think he should have. He has a little 12 o'clock shadow going on, which is kind of weird for seeing Tyler Breeze like that, because as we all know, he always had the clean cut face and everything in NXT. So I was like, couldn't you shave that before you got this match going on? Either way, but it was a really good match. And that was the fast view of NXT. As we started off the show, we had the Undisputed Era come out to the ring as EC3 was going to take on Bobby Fish, but Adam Cole decided he wanted to cut a promo and let everyone know that Bobby Fish is going to embarrass EC3, and that 2018 was not a banner year for them. It was the start of a decade of dominance, which quite honestly I really wish that was the case. These guys should move up straight from NXT to the main roster and just take over Raw and SmackDown, or like Raw or SmackDown, or both, with half and half going to the like Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, or Bobby Fish going to SmackDown and Raw gets Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, and you have Undisputed Era from both sides, but now that's not going to happen. He does say that in 2019, I do have a promise for everybody, is that all four of us will be draped in gold. That is not a threat. That is undisputed. And out comes EC3. Now, of course, the tag team titles are already owned by Undisputed Era, which tells you that Adam Cole is gunning for that NXT championship probably after. Which, quite honestly, if the Undisputed Era is not caught up by WrestleMania time and they're down there for another year, if the storyline of Johnny Gargano's fairy tale story, whatever, goes the way we all think it should go, Johnny Gargano winning the NXT championship at the Brooklyn 5 takeover holds it until we get to either Toronto or whatever's going to happen in between, and loses it to Adam Cole. Because quite honestly, after Johnny Gargano, if Johnny Gargano wins the championship, where do you go from there? You're not quite honestly, I'm not. I don't think many people are going to expect Johnny Gargano to have a very lengthy title reign after he wins the championship and topples the monster that is Tommaso Ciampa, showing that he was the real puppet master in this all. Where do you go from there? That is going to be one of the biggest things that, like, if it goes that way. EC3 versus Bobby Fish. Of course, EC3 had to deal with all four members of the Undisputed Era, which prolonged this match longer than it could have. Bobby Fish ends up getting rolled up for the 1-2-3 as EC3 wins, but that's all for nothing for the Undisputed Era. Roderick Strong comes in and attacks first, and all four members beat down on EC3 but Heavy Machinery comes out and runs off most of the Undisputed Era, but Kyle O'Reilly gets picked up, hit with the 1%er, and then hit with a caterpillar elbow drop to give the fans something to cheer about. Quite honestly, as I said, for this match and everything up until Mia Yim versus Rihanna Gonzalez, because Mia Yim is a fan favorite in Full Sail, the crowd for this match wasn't really there. I didn't really notice it in this match, but it was the next match that was like, the crowd's just dead. Was this stuff taped further along in the episodes of NXT and they put it in for the second episode? I don't know. It's just like the crowd was oddly dead for this show, unless maybe it's my media device that I'm watching this stuff on. I don't know, but it just felt like the crowd was just dead for the majority of the show. We do go to the back and we do hear from Dakota Kai, which sadly Dakota Kai has tore her ACL and she'll be out for a good long while. So Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai challenge Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir to a match next week, which would be Marina Shafir's and like Duke and Shafir's NXT TV debuts. So yeah, but it's going to be sad that will be the last match we see from Dakota Kai on NXT TV. I don't know if she has anything taped for NXT UK. But this is the last we'll see. Like, next week will be the last we see of Dakota Kai for a good while because of that ACL injury. Looking at Burch versus the Mighty, as I noticed in this match, the crowd was practically dead. You did have a couple people chanting Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi to try and, get the crowd to do something. And it just, I don't think it's Lorcan and Burch, because when they did stuff, it seemed like the crowd tried to get pop up and everything, but when it was like the Mighty was on the offense or something with the Mighty, the crowd just, they don't care about the Mighty. They seem to care more about the Mighty back when they were TM61 and they were baby faces, but now that there's heels, it just seems like whatever interest the crowd had in the Mighty, just gone. Just absolutely gone. Lorcan and Burch win this one with the elevated Hangman's DDT combination for the 3 count. And then we get a promo from Johnny Gargano, which Johnny Gargano was seen out in the parking lot again, as he was when he revealed why he did what he did. And he told Aleister Black, I didn't sin. I didn't do anything wrong. I did what was right. You are in my way, and I had to do something about that. You're still in my way. You can lock me in a cage, but I will do what I have to do to take out Aleister Black and make sure this story has the right ending. We also get a hype promo for Dijakovic, who is Donovan Dijak on the Indies. He is debuting next week, I guess, under this new name, so we will see him next week. And then Kathy Kelly is with Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke, and Marina Shafir. First asked Shayna Baszler about the Fatal 4-Way in 2 weeks, and Shayna Baszler's like, it doesn't matter. They have 2 arms, 2 legs. This match doesn't matter. I'm still going to be the champ, and they're going to have a hospital bill. She asked Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir about their match for next week. They laughed it off. Shayna Baszler says they're ready, and that's that. I really wish we could have heard a little bit from Duke and Shafir to see what they have, like, of mic skills, but for them just to laugh it off, it's just, I don't know. I'll see what they do next week in the ring, but so far, it's like, I'm not really sold on Duke and Shafir. I mean, they're friends with Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, but they haven't done anything outside of help Shayna Baszler recapture the NXT Women's Championship at Evolution and help her retain it at TakeOver War Games. So they just haven't done enough yet. Then they showed us that Lacey Evans qualified for the Fatal 4-Way, and then we had Marina Gonzalez versus Mia Yim. Winner goes to the Fatal 4-Way. I knew as soon as they said this was a #1 contenders match who was going to win this match. It was no doubt in my mind that Mia Yim was going to win this. The fact that Brandon Gonzalez is just not there. She's just starting out. She did have that match. I think it was against Casey Catanzaro, where Catanzaro beat her with a roll-up. Brandon Gonzalez does come out channeling her inner Stan Hansen with the bull rope, the cowbell, running around, like wailing that cowbell around and everything. She looked like she was trying to become the second coming of Stan Hansen. This was a pretty good match. Mia Yim ends up winning with what they call now Eat Defeat. I guess they're not calling it Soul Food anymore, which is the same move, but yes, Mia Yim moves on, so that leaves one spot left. It's either going to go to Candice LeRae or Nikki Cross, in my opinion. There are no other options for the NXT Women's Championship Fatal 4-Way. Unfortunately, Kairi Sane is out with hand, foot, and mouth disease during this set of tapings. I do know she is back on the road with NXT. She was actually in a 6-woman tag match with her, Shirai, and Dakota Kai versus the three-fourths of the 4 horsewomen of MMA when Dakota Kai went down. So anybody who's wondering when are we gonna see we're gonna see Kairi Sane again? Definitely probably be in the next set of tapings, because we'll see where this goes. And then we had Ricochet versus Tyler Breeze. This was great. We had welcome back chants. We had a dueling chant of Breeze is gorgeous, Ricochet. This is gorgeous. Breeze is gorgeous. This was great. This was a great match. You got to check this match out. This was probably the best. This is probably going to be the second best match of the entire set of tapings, as we do have that steel cage match next week. You had Tyler Breeze hit a couple of his moves. He had he got one for the beauty shot, got caught, hit with the Michinoku driver, cross-leg Michinoku driver for the 1-2-3, and Ricochet picks up the win in a damn good match. What can you say about this? Ricochet is one of the absolute best. Tyler Breeze is also one of the absolute best, most underutilized talents in 2017 and 18, as he has been the last 2 years. Not much else you can say about that match. Ricochet, I'm pretty sure as we get into the rest of the set of tapings, or even the next set of tapings, Ricochet's opponent for NXT TakeOver Phoenix will be made. It would be cool to see another one of these matches next set of tapings. I know this is probably the only one they did, but maybe give us a surprise of somebody else. Who would I want to see? I'd say bring Apollo down and have Ricochet take on Apollo Crews and let me see what Apollo Crews can actually do, because Apollo Crews really didn't get to do much in NXT. Yeah, he was not the first TakeOver Brooklyn against Tyler Breeze, and He was supposed to feud with somebody, I think it was, and then they just called him up at the next set of WrestleManias, which I think he should have been down in NXT at least another year. But it would be great to see him come back and have a match with Ricochet and put over Ricochet. In those two, I honestly think if they would bring Apollo Crews down for one match against a Ricochet on the next set of tapings, just to give Ricochet another one of those title defenses, I think those two would put on one of the best matches of 2019 because those tapings will take place next month. And that was NXT in a nutshell. We had really almost no storyline build outside of Johnny Gargano and and Aleister Black. Aleister Black did cut a promo pretty much saying, you know what, he did have this promo, I did forget to say this, where he's like, you know what I love about the human race is that we always wonder how people feel. And people keep asking me, how do I feel about this match I have with Johnny Gargano? He's like, I don't feel at all. I just have to do what I have to do, and I have to take out Johnny Gargano. That's going to be a great match next week. I don't know exactly what happens. I have a feeling Tommaso Ciampa is going to get involved. It is a steel cage match, but you know the champ's going to do something because he is going to be taking on Aleister Black at NXT TakeOver Phoenix. And we will know by then where his loyalty lies with Johnny Gargano. Will Johnny Gargano have him fooled into helping him to where at the end of this is where we're going to go, in which Johnny Gargano will eventually turn on Tommaso Ciampa and go after the championship. The only other thing we really had any storyline build to, I guess, is that we were going to see Heavy Machinery take on the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championships at NXT TakeOver Phoenix. No, that match has not been announced yet, but they are building towards it with the fact that EC3 was being quadruple teamed by the Undisputed Era, and you had Heavy Machinery come out and run them off. It's always refreshing to come watch NXT because you could be having a bad week and you're like, oh, I love wrestling, but Raw is just god awful. SmackDown throws us a bone for a good show here and there, but nothing too out of this world. And then you come to NXT, and no, not everything is always great, but you always find something good on NXT. Maybe half the show, maybe the main event, maybe the opener, maybe the women's match, maybe whatever. This is always the high spot for WWE. If it wasn't for NXT, there would be a lot less people watching WWE. And it's sad when you see somebody like a Tyler Breeze go up to the main roster, be squandered after a terrible feud with Dolph Ziggler where they did absolutely nothing with him after that, comes back to NXT and puts on, and this is not his first match back in NXT this year, mind you. He has done matches on the house show circuit with NXT. Even Ricochet had a match against against Harper for the North American Championship. Bring guys down. If you're not using them on the main roster, bring them down. I'm so tired, and I know everyone else is. We're so sick and tired of seeing the guys go up, like in Johnny and Almas. When was the last time we seen Almas? Look at the Authors of Pain, how much of a joke they've become in the last 2 months. Look at Apollo Crews, who hasn't done anything majority of the time since he's been up on the main roster. Bayley was being touted as the female John Cena when it comes to the fans, the kids fans, not just all fans, but the kids fans. Like, she would blow away John Cena's entire Make-A-Wish request because of how over she is with the fans, and they squandered her to where Bayley is just another person. Tyler Breeze is a catering specialist. And Johnny Cena probably doesn't even get called to come in to work. He probably doesn't even come to work half the time because he's not needed. NXT is great. Raw and SmackDown need to take a page from NXT. Use new talent. Use and give us matches we haven't seen. Like Mustafa Ali versus Daniel Bryan. That was a good match. It was a little rushed, but it was better than seeing the same old shit that we do every single week like we do on Monday Night Raw. How many times did we see for weeks Gable and Rude versus The Ascension? How many times did we see Gable and Rude versus the Authors of Pain? How many times did we see Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title? It's just you just want to pull your hair out if you have any hair. It's just, you come to NXT, and it's like, wow, this is awesome. This is good. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that match right there because it was a squash match, but I don't feel stupid. I don't have my intelligence insulted. It feels like a good hour. I don't want to see NXT get any bigger than an hour because then you're going to start seeing a Johnny Gargano more than once a week. You're going to see Tommaso Ciampa more than once a week. It's fine as it is. Yes, they have filler matches with your squash matches, but squash matches are needed in NXT because you're bringing in new superstars. You got Diamond Dijakovic, making his debut next week. He's going to go up against some enhancement talent, most likely, squash him. That is fine in NXT because that is where you want to start exposing people. But NXT is definitely the great part of WWE. NXT UK, I don't even think I want to even touch NXT UK outside of their takeover that's coming up to Blackpool because it's just too much wrestling at once. I mean, if you wanted to do a 2-hour block of NXT UK, that would have been fine. But since somebody in NXT, in who runs the WWE Network, probably Vince McMahon, didn't realize how much video that Triple H had supplied them, so they had to try and rush it all out. And it won't get back to where it should be, one episode a week, until we get past Blackpool, which is going to be happening next month. 2 weeks, of course, before the NXT TakeOver Phoenix. So, yay. But I've ranted enough. NXT is the place to go if you want to watch some NXT. When you want to watch some good wrestling under the WWE banner. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below. Thank you to all those who commented on the unscripted video from last weekend and my SmackDown Live review from yesterday. Any comment you write, unless it's something derogatory and shouldn't be seen, I will comment. I read all my comments because I don't get that many, but I do read all my comments. So hit those comments down below. Let me know what you thought of Tyler Breeze and Ricochet's match. I thought it was a great match. Was it a match of the year candidate? Not even close. But it was a reminder of those who've forgotten how good Tyler Breeze was, and shows you that this guy should be used in a more prominent role in the main roster. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Follow me on Twitter at TheFrance, follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08, and I will see you guys on Saturday for Unscripted episode 49. Until then, my name is TheFrance, and I will see you guys later.